My name is Dale Wilk. I live in Telluride, Colorado, and you can learn a lot more about me on my page on MySpace. Anyhow, this is going to be a short message to warn people about the fact that, we're in greater danger. Our national security is in greater danger than even during the entire Cold War. Terrorists can easily bring in nuclear weapons in briefcases or even in a suitcase and hold this country hostage if they can bring them in, if they can get them in. And they can do that through the tunnels between Mexico and the United States. And recently a Kuwaiti cleric has suggested doing that. And we could just one day wake up and find a whole city gone, like Washington, D.C. or New York. Or we could find ourselves being given an ultimatum from some foreign terrorist or leader from Iran, clearly stating that either you surrender or these weapons will be detonated in certain cities, or don't know where they'd be detonated, don't even really know if they're here. Even though we have technology to detect them, that doesn't mean it's going to happen, because our borders are, as we all know, pretty well open for anyone to come in. So we're going to pay a heavy price for that eventually. And the reason why we leave our borders so wide open is for political reasons. And both the Republicans and the Democrats are equally guilty of this crime. But nonetheless, here's what will happen if we have some president like Obama or some future president surrender to these terrorists, Islamic terrorists like Osama bin Laden or people like him. First of all of our icons would be killed off. All Jews would be killed off. And going back to the icons are entertainers, singers, musicians, politicians, military personnel like General Schwarzkopf. Anybody that's an icon will be terminated or executed. America would become a great killing field, and the millions of Americans would be executed. And of course, many more will die trying to fight to take the country back. But that may be stopped by some of these terrorists unleashing or detonating a nuclear device in a certain city, in a certain area, and clearly stating, if we fight back, this is what's going to happen. Nonetheless, that's what can happen when these terrorists take over. Of course, they will kill all our politicians, though most people probably won't care. And the Bruce Springsteens, the Dolly Partons, the Shania Twains, all would be killed if they're in the United States at the time, that is. Anybody that's an icon. Sports, football, baseball, professional, college, high school, elementary, comes to an end. There'll be no more sports. Your satellite TV goes right off the air. All the radio stations will be closed down. The only thing you're going to hear on the radio is Islamic prayers and messages and threats. The only thing you're going to see on TV is executions, and maybe they might put on Islamic prayers and so forth. All Jews will be executed. Now you can be sure of that. Anybody supporting Israel will be executed. The only religious institutions in America will be Islamic. Christian churches, Jewish temples, Buddhist temples, they're all gone. The leaders of those denominations, religions, will be executed. All women will go back into the home. Women will not be able to work. They will not be able to drive. They can be executed for adultery. Men and women found living together outside the bonds of marriage, of course, will be executed. There'll be no more alcohol. There'll be no more concerts. There'll be, like I said, no more sports, television sports, all will be gone. You cannot listen to music anymore unless it's some type of Islamic stuff. Life's going to get pretty boring. There'll be no more tennis. There'll be no more racquetball. There'll be no more golf. There'll be no more much of anything. You just kind of live a dismal life. Kind of like, might as well just put a straitjacket on and go into a room and hide there. That's what life is going to be like under Islam if they take America over. I have to keep this video short because if I go too long, it will not upload. So that's what's coming. And don't think it cannot happen. Yes, it can happen. And we face that possibility at any time. And you could wake up any time in the morning, or just turn the TV on one day, and all of a sudden it's happening. And so, all I can say to the women of America is that you are the ones that are going to be persecuted the most. Not at the beginning, but towards the end. You will become nothing but animals. and living like animals, slaves, or prisoners. You can't even work. You can't even go to school. Your daughters can't go to school. They have to stay home. In Afghanistan, they're still throwing acid in the faces of little girls that try to go to school. And if they don't throw acid in the face, they kill them. That's what kind of barbaric treatment Americans would get. That's why I believe that we ought to just nuke our own country before we allow these animals to take control of our country. You better really think about the war on terror and what it can do to this country and what it's going to do to your life, and that the reality of it taking place or becoming a reality at any time is quite possible. The Obama administration is not taking this war very seriously. They obviously do not have the intelligence to understand what can really happen. And if they do, they're downplaying it. And I believe it's more or less they do understand, but they're just downplaying it. And they're just hoping for the best and taking a chance at our expense. So please think about what can happen, how your life is going to change. You have not seen. America will become the biggest killing field the world has ever seen if the Islamists take over. And your neighbors, your friends, and many of your family members will be executed, and you may be executed at the very same time. Thank you for your time.